For more on this post-election turmoil, shall we say, let's get some more valuable insights from a guest who joined us yesterday, Ian Phillips, who's Vice President of the International News Division at the Associated Press, joining us again from New York. Ian, the presidential race is undecided as the ballot counting continues in a number of states. For our viewers watching around the world who might be confused about why the process is taking so long, could you explain why we are still waiting 24 hours plus later?
Well, it has been a complex election, and that's not the first time in the US, but everything has been exacerbated by the coronavirus pandemic. There's absolutely no question about that. We spoke yesterday about the huge numbers of people that voted by mail, more than 100 million people. The fact is that takes more time to process, and each state in America does it differently. So some states start by counting the votes cast on the day, and then they get to the mailed-in votes. And that's what we're seeing in some of the key states that still haven't been called. Others do it the other way around. So we're being very careful. As you rightly said, Joe Biden is on the brink. The wins today in Michigan and Wisconsin have dramatically narrowed Donald Trump's re-election chances. He is very close to winning. The AP count actually has Joe Biden at 264 electoral college votes against 214 for Donald Trump. So only 6 away. But if you think it's slow, also factor in the potential legal challenges coming from the Trump campaign. That could throw a spanner in the works too. That could really slow what many in the Democratic Party are hoping could be a declaration maybe tomorrow. The Donald Trump campaign has focused on 2 or 3 states. They have not managed to come up with actual evidence. The strategy is still not clear. But as you will have seen, Donald Trump came out and alleged fraud. Lawsuits have been filed in these states. The Republicans are asking for the vote count to be stopped. So let's see how that goes. Let's see what the strategy looks like, what the basis for it is. These challenges will be first of all considered at state level. It's unclear whether they would then go to the Supreme Court. The one that could go to the Supreme Court is Pennsylvania. That has also slowed down the process. A huge amount of mailed-in ballots still being counted. And as long as your ballot was stamped on the 3rd of November, it could still be counted on Friday. The Trump campaign was not happy about that. They've challenged it in Pennsylvania, and that decision is still pending.
Right, I'd like to talk about the lawsuit angle in just a moment, if you don't mind. But regardless of what happens in the end regarding the result of this election, do you think the way polling is conducted in the US should be completely overhauled at this point, given that pollsters got it so badly wrong in 2016, and you could argue they misjudged it equally as badly this year?
Yeah, that will be a big point of discussion after this election, and it's already beginning. As you say, in 2016, big surprise when Donald Trump won. This year, we were told that Biden had a clear advantage. The methodology will have to be challenged. New ones will be found. To do this twice in the space of 8 years is a problem. No one has found the magical equation. Let's see how we go forward on that front. At AP, we decided that exit polls were no longer as relevant as they once were. That has definitely been the case this time because of the amount of people that voted in advance. Talking to people coming out of election day casting ballots really did not have that much value. So we looked at different ways. We also need to fine-tune that going forward. It's a permanent evolution. We're also seeing it outside America. We've seen it in Europe. We've seen it elsewhere in the world where those opinion polls, they don't quite count like they used to.
And we're just looking at video of how President Trump responded late last night as well, and we're seeing it play out even further today with these lawsuits, like you mentioned before. They've been filed by the Trump administration going after Michigan, Pennsylvania and Georgia as of now, perhaps maybe more in the near future. If President Trump does end up losing this election, you touched on it briefly before, but do you see this going all the way to the Supreme Court? And if it does, what happens then?
It's too early to say. I really wouldn't like to speculate because we don't know the true nature of these allegations. We haven't heard from Donald Trump for several hours. So let's see their next move on this front. Lawyers have been activated on both sides. We knew that would happen in advance. The stakes are so high in this election. We knew they would be poring over election results in both parties. So let's see what happens. It's very, very hard to speculate. And who knows? You know, if according to our count, if Joe Biden gets 6 more votes, and coincidentally there are 6 votes up for grabs in Nevada, then he gets the magical 270 figure. He wins the White House. So suddenly the emphasis on the legal battle, or the potential legal battle in Pennsylvania and elsewhere, suddenly falls by the wayside. So let's continue looking at the results as they come in. It is too early to call it. AP hasn't called it. Nobody's called it. Everybody is waiting. It could go through the night, American time. It could go into tomorrow, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us again, Ian. We do appreciate it. That was Ian Phillips from the Associated Press with his thoughts on the post-election goings-on in the United States. Thank you.